From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's it, Taylor. 500 help for all your heating, plumbing, air conditioning, duct cleaning. They are the professionals. They get it all done. Taylor 500 help, been around since 1947. They want to make sure that you are nice and cozy in your home. They want to make sure that you have hot water, the hottest water for showers with Bradford White water heaters. If you got a water heater that really isn't putting out that hot water, guess what? It's about ready to die. Do that before it drains all over your basement. Give Taylor Heating and Plumbing a call. Have them come out and put in a brand new Bradford White water heater in your home. That way you can have a nice warm shower every single day. But I can tell you from experience, if your water heater and your hot showers start to become not so hot, your water heater is going to start to die. So heating, air conditioning, duct cleaning, they do it all. Make sure that your furnace is working good because, hey, we're only in the beginning of January. And here in Rochester, it's going to get very cold. Taylor Heating and Plumbing at Taylor 500 help. Call them anytime you have a heating, plumbing, and water heater issue. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster, 195 North Avenue in Webster since 1969. They have been providing Rochester and the surrounding areas sales, service, and parts. They have snow blowers because we've got some snow coming. We don't really know how much. It's between like 1 and 8. So depending on where you are, and you don't want to be without a snowblower, right? And if we have an ice storm and your trees fall all over like they tend to do here in Rochester, you want to make sure you have the big daddy of all chainsaws. I will tell you, you go up to Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster and they will set you up. They will make sure you're prepared for any kind of weather event that you could come across in the Rochester area. Chainsaws, snow blowers, lawn mowers, on sale models, all makes and models. It's Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. And of course, Express Sealers, 645-2010. We've been lucky so far, but eventually we'll get a big ass snowstorm, and Brian and Express Sealers does not only sealing of driveways, but he plows. That's business or residential. Express Sealers on the east side, snow removal for driveways, Ontario, Williamson, Webster, Penfield, Irondequoit. He will help you out. That's Express Sealers, 645-2010.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in cloudy 39-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Hello.
They don't read those pesky door signs. Here they are. It's Kimberly in a blue chair.
What door signs? I don't see no stinking door signs. What are you talking about, door signs?
Exactly.
I don't know. Hey,
it's a blue chair.
It's Wednesday. How is everyone? Everyone's doing, you guys are all okay out in podcast land? We hope so.
Everything's going good, Kimberly. I can't wait to get into the weeds today.
Chad's not in his chair. Chad's late. You know, this time never changes. I mean, every Wednesday at 4:00, we have a show to do. See how this works? You come in at 4:00 for your show. We do the show, then you go home.
Do you know who I am, Kimberly? Do you know?
So Chad will be here just whenever he decides to roll on in, I guess. I am Kimberly of Kimberly's Revolution. Please support our sponsors, Taylor Heating and Plumbing. That's Precision Lawn and Garden, and also Express Sealers. Oh, look who showed up. Chad Hummel is here.
There he is.
Oh, yeah, we were mocking you.
As I
big
come
time.
up the stairs.
Like, you know, it really is like every morning at 10:00 when there's like a business meeting, it never changes, or like tax day, or maybe Memorial Weekend. It never changes.
Are you comparing this podcast to tax day?
That's what I was just going to say.
I'm just saying.
If it was Memorial Day weekend, I would have been here.
You know the time. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, giving you a hard time. Chad Hummel.
Let me put my seatbelt on here.
He is the broker, and also
gonna need it.
He is a lawyer. And with, of course, Kimberly's Revolution, we need one at all times on retainer. So, of course, he is here joining us. And we have Just Tom.
I'm here.
Just Tom sitting right across from us and keeping
Always
us
on time.
early even.
Yeah.
Early even. And, of course, we have Austin, who is getting it done and making sure this show happens every single Tuesday.
He's always here
and
unless he
Wednesdays.
has COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Vaccinated or not, right? The
Right.
name of the show today is the CDC says the CDC says, what do they say? It's so
Something new every
confusing.
day.
It is something new every day, right?
It sure is.
I mean, the confusion is crazy. So I want to get into that just a little bit today because the CDC has updated today its guidance on recommended COVID-19 isolation periods. We kind of talked about this again after criticism on the previous guidelines.
Well,
What?
I'm glad because I never read the previous one, so now I'm good with these.
I didn't give a rat's ass about any of the guidelines. So, I mean, what does it really matter? I guess for those who are really hanging on tight, man, they're hanging on tight to the masks. They're hanging on tight to the mandates. They're hanging on tight to the, you got to make sure that you're not hanging out with anyone and you're, what do they call it when you have to quarantine? They're hanging on to all those things because, they like being in control. The whole segment of population likes to control another segment of the population. But I found on TikTok, because really, I think, guys, and I think you might agree, Chad and Tom, that you just have to laugh through the stupidity, don't you? And so I found this
Absolutely.
TikTok. I got to stay off TikTok. I am on it way too much.
Both of you are
And
on it way
it's
too
called,
much.
I have nothing else to do.
You guys
Chad.
are worse than my teenage daughters.
like Simon says, no.
No.
This is the CDC says.
Right.
Welcome to CDC Says, your favorite game from your favorite play cousin. CDC says, put on your mask. Hurry up. CDC says, take it off. CDC said, put it on. CDC said, oh my. Girl, get it over your nose. There, take it off. CDC didn't say. Don't give up, girl. CDC says, sit down. Good. CDC says, stand up. CDC says, sit down. CDC says, stand up. Okay, now drink disinfectant. Spread in your mouth. Nah, chill.
That's not funny.
It is to me.
This isn't a game. I could have died.
Okay, you and 800,000 other people. Keep playing. CDC says, go to work. Yeah, return back to capitalism. Sorry. Okay, go back to work. Now let me see that booty work. Boop, boop, boop. You were too ready to do that.
You think you're funny.
That's what Fauci tells me. Okay, girl. CDC says you can go outside and stop playing. Oh, just kidding. Omicron.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Good.
Things like that just
I went to get
laughed.
my mask and I
laughed.
lost.
So where's you lose?
I
Yeah.
lost.
So I don't really even know. I mean, they're telling nurses, well, if you're not showing any signs, get your ass back to work because there are not enough nurses. Then that might be a little problematic, don't you think?
Like the nurses they fired.
So I don't think those nurses.
The ones that didn't have COVID. That now there's nurses that have COVID.
So the CDC is now urging you to take a rapid test near the end of your 5-day isolation, which used to be 10 days, which I think before that was 14 days. And if your test is positive, they recommend isolating for another 10 days. Have we just lost track of all the numbers? I mean,
hit me with it.
no, I don't throw things at people. I don't throw things at people. Is this ridiculous though? I mean, who can keep track of all of the CDC guidelines from 5 to 10 to 14 to rapid test and then stay inside for 5 more? I mean,
Sounds like you
Stop
need
it.
a liar for that. What is it? A liar?
stop making mandates that no one can adhere to and no one wants to adhere to. I mean,
Nobody
and-
knows what they're doing.
and so
to understand them.
as we come in to the show today, we just got word that as well as many districts across the country are back on
Many city school districts across the country.
right. Many city school districts across the country are now back on remote learning, which is so ridiculous. And they're saying it's because of the coronavirus,
Right.
but also because they don't have enough teachers and subs, but also because they don't have enough school bus drivers. Okay. I mean,
The parents can't take them to school.
I don't know what is happening in the city school district, but we do have a little clip, and I know this really gets you going. So we're going to play a little clip of the school superintendent. Is this the one that has been accused of sexually harassing several school district employees?
Yeah, and you know what's funny?
How is it that they never talk about this when they do stories like this?
I had never seen her before. I didn't know what she looked like, and now that I've seen her,
Mhm.
you know, I'd be afraid to get sexually harassed by her.
Why? Why?
She's a big woman.
Oh my God, are we gonna go there?
Just-
Are we really? Are we gonna do
I
that?
mean, I could see the paddle.
You know
and-
what?
All right, let's just play the video.
More to grab onto, right? See, this is sexual harassment right here. You're basically sexually harassing a woman that can't. Well, anyway, never mind. But
Tom's fine.
Shocker.
Tom's
she-
fine.
let's play a little bit of the video.
I'm afraid of all women, Chad.
Where today I made the decision to temporarily shift to remote learning for the Rochester City School District.
She looks happy about it.
This shift will begin tomorrow.
She
on
say the
Thursday,
shit?
January
Or
6th,
shift.
where students will be learning asynchronously and then synchronously on Friday and then again on Monday.
Can you
even
stop
knows what
that real
that
second?
means.
Can you stop that real
Yeah,
second?
what? I
What
mean,
kind of bull crap word?
asynchronous-
What is
What?
that? Synchronously and asynchronously.
Is that like synonym?
I'll tell you what.
What kind of 5-cent word
I
is
don't.
she using on her 1-cent crowd?
I don't even know what
I
those
just-
words mean.
I want to know.
This is what I do know, though. What
Why
I
do
do
they
know,
have to
though,
talk
is
above? She's an educated woman. She's
No.
going to talk above us.
no.
So
I promise you that she had never used that word in her life.
what does it mean?
Pre-COVID. And so, if you want me to put my tinfoil hat on for a minute,
Please.
they made all these things up, right? This was all part of the pandemic. They made up asynchronous and synchronous learning and all the other code words that she uses. If you watch, it's about a 13-minute press conference, and she used all the code words. Every code word that you've heard and that we've seen used since this pandemic started, she dropped them all. And I wish I could remember what they were. Some
well,
of them
let's
off the top
play
of my
more.
head,
So
but-
let's play more. Go ahead.
Athletics will continue.
Of
And
course.
we will provide the transportation
Oh,
for those services, for those activities.
services.
We have food served.
Oh, they have food.
sites
That's
across
good.
the entire district, 15 different sites.
Can you
Wow.
stop that for a
across the
second?
district. So
If there are not enough bus drivers, and so there are not enough bus drivers to get the kids to school, how in the world are those kids going to get to food sites across the?
Well,
I'm
it's
just
easy.
I'm
They don't-
asking the question.
It's easy. They don't actually use the food sites, right? That's just get the millions of dollars in from the federal government, right? Every year, Gates Chili and East Irondequoit in Monroe County are the two Monroe County school districts that are part of the federal everything is free, come eat for free food program.
right.
Up to the age of 18, you have to show no ID, no verification that you even live in those districts, no verification that you're even a U.S. citizen, no verification that your refrigerator isn't jam-packed with food at home because your welfare card bought you all the food that you needed in the first place. But yet we host these free food events
Mhm.
all through the summer because kids are starving in the summertime too. And I've honest to God, the one setup was one street over from the house that we lived at for the first 13 years that my kids were in school, over by
Sure.
Duran Eastman School in Irondequoit.
Right.
I never saw not a single person ever coming or going out of that site, which was Duran Eastman Middle School. Never saw a single person.
Really?
Because nobody's starving. Nobody needs the
No,
food. Nobody
well,
goes to get the food. So they're not going to need the buses.
Apparently,
That's why.
there are food sites.
Yeah. To get the money.
But my question is, if there's not enough bus drivers, and that's why you're having remote learning because there's not enough subs and there's not enough teachers, and Omicron is raging, and we know that it's not a big deal with kids. We know this. We know this 100%. That they have a little cold and a sniffle and they get
Yeah.
over it.
That's why she doesn't. That's why she doesn't have a mask on.
Kids aren't dying. She doesn't have a mask
'Cause
on.
It's not a big deal.
But if the food sites are open, my question is, how are they going to get to the food sites? But go ahead.
students can get breakfast
That's good.
and lunch.
And lunch and dinner.
We also
What about dinner?
Have Chromebooks that will be available.
Yeah,
if
lots of
students
Chromebooks.
Don't have one if it's damaged, and so that is an important
Wait,
tool.
so
for-
if it's damaged, they get another one?
Oh, they get lots of Chromebooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
They break them.
Wait.
They smash them over
Or-
each other's heads, and they get new ones all the time.
They
we'll just leave
smash
it-
them over heads?
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, though. Yeah, they do that.
How does one know that?
I just know things.
So kids smash their
you're like a Buddha,
Chromebooks
Chad.
on over other kids' heads,
Over their own heads.
or over their own heads,
Yeah.
and then
just get new
they
ones.
just get another Chromebook.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's how
good
it
enough.
works.
Good enough. We can go on.
for our scholars as well as MiFi devices.
My
We
fight.
have
MiFi
sent
device?
information out to families in English English, Spanish, and the 5 major languages.
What are
that
they?
spoken
5
in
major
the
languages?
I thought there was one major language. Wait, stop that for a second.
She just said there's 5 major languages spoken in Rochester.
Is there not just one major language? I mean, I get it.
Well, we
There's
could go
Hispanic
2.
Do
culture.
we have the airplane video or no?
I mean, I talked to a
I
guy.
hope not.
Can I just say I talked to a guy today from the Ukraine?
How many people are speaking French?
And he spoke to you in English, didn't he?
Perfect
Of
English.
course he did.
He spoke perfect
he
English, and
did.
he said
I wonder why.
that they prepared 3 years in advance to coming here because he and his wife did not want to
Swim across the Rio Grande.
come here and not know the language. They wanted to be proficient. So for 3 years while they were in the Ukraine, they took night classes to speak English.
Oh, you're racist.
Apparently I am.
You're racist.
Can you go ahead? But
Well,
apparently
let's just take a
one
guess. What are
language.
the other 3?
I would say
Swahili? Swahili?
Spanish.
Italian? I mean, who's speaking Italian? French?
Spanish,
Obviously English and Spanish.
English and Spanish. I don't know the others. I wouldn't be able to. I mean, maybe German. No.
German.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
9.
We're going to be speaking German pretty soon
I know.
again.
Latin?
I don't know.
What about Latin?
Pig Latin.
Big Latin?
Can we cue up the airplane video?
I'm telling you,
please?
oop and stay. I know Pig Latin really well. I do that very well. Okay, let's go on.
All right.
Out to families in English, Spanish, and the 5 major languages that are spoken in the Rochester City School District.
language.
The temporary pivot to remote
Temporary
learning
pivot. There's one of
due
the
to
code
staff
words.
absences and due to
Staff.
a shortage of substitutes, which we know Rochester City School
we stop right
District
there?
is not the only district.
Lie.
She's
lie,
saying,
lie, lie,
Rochester
lie.
isn't the only district. She says it 3 times.
And she
in there.
also says 3 times in the video that that is the reason why they're closing. So she gave herself 3 separate opportunities to address
Mhm.
what the reason was for this temporary pivot,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
This temporary pivot.
That's
the
gonna
14
change on-
days to flatten the
It's going to
curve.
change on Tuesday somehow.
Yeah.
Is
And-
that like a 10-cent word? It's a 10-cent phrase,
Yeah.
a temporary pivot.
And all
Okay.
3 opportunities that she afforded herself to provide the reason for this temporary pivot were the same: staff shortages. So if the reason is, let's believe what she says, right?
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
because that's all you have to do with these people anymore is listen and believe what they actually say, because they'll tell you, it comes right out nowadays. They don't care. They don't hide anything. She's standing there without a mask on
Yeah.
indoors in Monroe County, where it's a mandate, allegedly. And what's going to change by sending the kids home? The same number of students are going to be at home that need to be taught, and they're going to be effectively in the same classroom, so to speak, although it'll be a virtual classroom now.
Mhm.
How is sending the kids home going to fix a staff shortage problem? If you can't teach them in person
Right. How
because you're short somebody. I
Right.
mean, it's as simple as this. If there's a particular classroom right now that doesn't have a teacher, right? I mean, if we're to believe what she's saying,
Maybe they're saying, maybe they think that the sick teachers can teach from home, even though they're sick.
Yeah, what about that,
okay,
Chad?
that could be the only reason.
I don't know.
But is that really going to happen? Is that the
I'm
answer?
dropping the mask.
Hey, listen, I know someone, we know someone that's very close to us, and she was sick enough to go to the hospital. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, no,
I don't
look,
know.
that's it. That could possibly be the only potential plausible.
You're not getting out of this.
No, I'm
You
taking it.
lost.
I'm taking it at face value. That's legitimate.
Right.
But is that really what's going on here?
I don't think
Are
that's
there
what's
really sick teachers that are at home right now that are effectively abandoning their posts, right? They've left Johnny and Mary, and apparently, I don't know how you say Johnny and Mary in Swahili and the other 4 major languages spoken in Rochester, but
I don't think Swahili is one of them.
it's got to be.
I
Because
don't
what are
think so.
we can't, we're 3 relatively
How about
stupid
Polish?
people
How about Polish?
in the Rochester City School District. Nope.
Nope.
Try again.
I don't know.
Maybe 50 years ago.
I want to learn all the buzzwords that make me seem smart.
That's a great point, Patty. There's no way that the teachers union is going to require or allow or bargain for, because that's all this all is.
Right.
This is all some bargain for agreement where Urbanski bargained for more vacation time for his members. Let's face it.
He's Polish.
right?
He's
That's
Polish.
that's a good point. So it's got to be Polish, right?
I'm
All right.
telling you.
So we'll go with Polish,
Okay.
right?
Don't
Arabic.
don't
There you
back
go.
up, Chad,
How did-
Patty. Okay.
How did we miss
Don't
Arabic?
back him
And
up.
also, someone points out, I mean, if the kids are walking to the food sites, the chances are, Lori says, how many kids?
gonna
and
get
we
shot?
we can make this a math problem. How many bullets does it take to, I don't even know. It's a math problem. How many kids will get shot?
The We the
walking to
People podcast network does not endorse any of the things said by the host on this
There was a
program.
15-year-old shot at last night
Yes.
on Saxton Street, I think, which is here in the city. There was a 14-year-old shot and killed the other night. And you want these kids to walk to food sites in the middle of a war zone?
We used
Great
to just
idea.
remember back in the old days,
Great
we
idea.
would just have to worry about walking in the snow uphill both ways, and
With
now
no shoes on.
and now you have to dodge bullets when you
There-
walk to school.
I know, right? You got to have the full gear. You've got to have body armor,
Well,
So,
those
you gotta have-
those puffer coats, they're pretty good defense.
right? Can we play the rest of it? And we'll stop interrupting Austin.
That was
Oh,
was
was that
what
it?
Yeah, that's what
Is that what this show is? Interrupting Austin?
Interrupting Austin. That is a good name. So we have kids that really are better off in school. We know this.
Which she actually said that in the interview.
We know this
in the presser.
because we know that kids in city schools, if they aren't in class, that's really kind of for a lot of kids in the city school district a safe haven. Not for not for all, but I would say for a majority of city school students, school is a safe haven for them. Because when they go home and they go to the grocery store or they're walking down the sidewalk, the chances are that they're targets for someone.
Look, let me say
We
this.
don't know who because we never find out.
You're right. You're right. I mean, there is a different aspect there that you're referring to, and that is that there are probably disproportionately compared to the county schools. There's disproportionately more kids in the Rochester City School District
Mhm.
that just simply going to the school and being physically within the four walls, so to speak, of that school is a safe haven.
Yeah, that's
How-
probably their only time where they can go,
Yeah.
All right, Chad,
However,
hang on a second.
you
I
know?
have a contractual obligation to say, and now the news.
Gotcha. Good one. However,
drink more. Get another drink.
every kid in Monroe County and in New York State and in the United States, every kid that's of school age, that's enrolled in school
Mhm.
and that goes to school should be in school every day.
Every
Because
day.
if they're not physically in school, then they're physically at home in their bed with more screen time,
Right.
doing this asynchronous, synchronous swimming or learning or whatever it is that,
They're temporary pivoting.
yeah, they're,
We don't
so it's not
temporary
good.
pivot.
I watched it. I saw it. I'm sure everyone watching and listening right now that has children in school, they saw this with their own eyes for 12 months. We watched our kids lay in bed, half of them under the covers, in front of a Chromebook,
Oh yeah.
pretending to be learning. It's not good for city schools
It's
or
not.
county
It's-
schools.
It's not. Kids need to be in school.
Which begs the question, why is this just a city school problem?
I have no.
Why do the city schools have to close? Chicago announced today publicly that they're closing, that they're doing the same thing. Boy, isn't there some connection between Rochester and Chicago? Hasn't there
there-
always been?
Well, I think
with
it's
the-
a homicide rate.
Yeah,
Well,
just
that-
with murders.
I think it's a
Haven't-
homicide rate.
Haven't we exchanged superintendents and others over the years too?
I think that is true.
Is
That is
Chicago our
absolutely true.
sister city?
I don't think we want it to be.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the mob in Chicago and Rochester, shared ammunition too at one point.
Sarah Elizabeth said, I posted that closing school is child abuse and
It
the
is.
number of people that attack. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Sarah, you just put yourself out there for the woke to come after you
I
with
saw
their,
that.
with their,
what she's referring to.
big words and their, craziness and their over. And I'm going to show you a tweet coming up here in just a moment that was directed at our friend Jeremy Kappel.
Oh,
There are
God.
people out there
Justin
that are
Murphy.
shallow and hateful and spiteful and jealous. They're all the fools, right? They're every fool that you can think of.
Full of
Hateful, spiteful. I don't even want to make up. I can just say that there are some very mean people for no reason. For no reason did this guy have to. But Sarah, I get it. People are mean and they'll come after you with their pitchforks on social media, of course, and they will try to take you down and make you feel bad and run you off social media because they can, right? They just pile on. And it's crazy how they make you feel until you finally just say, okay, I'm just going to get off Twitter. I'm going to get off whatever. And then they all like, oh, look who blocked me, or look who's, deleted the account, and they cheer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Lord of the Flies.
It's the Twilight Bark from
Yeah.
101 Dalmatians.
I mean, I wish I could can I even use that in a word? I'm trying to use the word in a sentence. Can we asynchronously, is that even how you pronounce it?
Don't look at me.
How do you pronounce it?
Asynchronous, I think.
Asynchronously come together. Am I using that correctly in a sentence?
I'm gonna say no.
I
but
don't know. I can't even say cinnamon.
Do you know what? Honestly, I'm asking you. Do you know what synchronous and asynchronously is?
I really
in terms
don't.
of what the hell she's talking about?
I believe that the
Because
synchronous.
you're smart. You're a lawyer.
Right. I believe, and I only know this because my kids went through it. I believe the synchronous learning is where
you're all together.
is where they're in a live classroom. So in other words, the kids are at home.
So why the fuck just say that?
Yeah, right.
Just say, hey, when we're all together live, why do you got to talk over us?
That's where the teacher's
Jesus.
actually in the classroom teaching to some kids that are in the classroom, and then the
So
rest of the
hard to
kids,
say.
the rest of the kids are at home, like piped into the classroom.
Well,
So
I'm just a dumbass with a college degree, as my dad used to say. What do I know?
yeah.
I don't know all the big words and all the big terms, but apparently we have all been edumacated. Doesn't it make you giddy?
I'm more concerned with the fact that she didn't have a mask on. I want her.
Well,
I want her arrested.
Let me just tell you something.
Shocking.
And then again, the name of the show is the CDC says, because they're every day that they're changing their guidelines. And now they're making you got it on wrong. You got your mask on wrong.
What?
You ever have anybody tell you that you're wearing your mask wrong?
Well, if
Yeah.
you don't have one on, they can't tell you you're wearing it wrong.
So if
It doesn't work.
so do you let me just tell you something, because the CDC, obviously doubling down on whatever their
Stupid.
guidelines are, but now they're saying that you are required now to isolate and then test to see if you are required to test.
Is that a requirement, a mandate, or a law?
Who the hell
Or
knows?
a recommendation.
Or a
But-
recommendation?
But let me just tell you who raised the prices of their rapid tests.
Oh,
Pfizer?
Walmart and Kroger, which is a big
nice.
grocery store chain.
Who's required to test?
People that have been around someone that have had COVID. So the CDC, Department of Health, says those who have been around someone who've tested positive or have tested positive have to take another rapid test to make sure that they're, they don't have it anymore, right? So which means that you've probably bought at least 2 of the testing kits at that point. In the meantime, Kroger and Walmart have boosted the price of their COVID rapid tests.
They boosted their booster.
They boosted the price. It was $14, but now Kroger and Walmart have jacked the price to $24
So if
for the rapid test.
so, if they're $24 at Kroger
I
and
thought they were
Walmart,
free.
that means CVS has got to be like $50.
There are only certain people get them for free. They're not free.
Adam Bella was passing them out for free at Laurelton Pardee in East Arondequoit a couple weekends ago.
Were you
He
there?
was outdoors. He had his mask on, his
Really?
gloves on, outdoors. Oh yeah, passing them out.
You can't
Beautiful sight.
hardly get them at a lot of Walmarts now, but
got
I
one
will
for
say,
Christmas.
Joe Biden said,
You got a wait a minute. You got a rapid test for Christmas?
Yeah, my nephew
Joe
gave me one.
Biden said he was
Great gift.
blindsided by an overnight surge, an almost overnight surge. I can't count on both hands how many times our president
Has been
been blindsided.
Did you just
He's
say
a-
our president?
Our
I thought
president.
it was hashtag not my president.
Our president of the United
Your
States
president.
of America. He's
Unfortunately,
ours.
Chad, Kimberly and I believe that he actually is the president,
He's
unlike
ours until he's our president until he's not our
you.
president.
Correct.
And he said he was blindsided by an almost overnight surge. How long have we been hearing from local politicians, health departments, CDC, that there was going to be a huge winter surge? Weeks, right?
Dark winter.
Dark winter.
That
Yes.
was his words. He He said that months
said-
ago himself.
Right? It's going to be a dark one. But all of a sudden, President Joe Biden
Or was that last year? Yeah, whatever.
said that his office has been blindsided by an almost overnight surge.
I think that was Game of Thrones, Chad.
But Walmart and Kroger aren't blindsided because they just See, I want to,
Supply
point
chain.
out the situation between, all you have to do, again, as we've always said, follow the money. The price of the test has just been jacked. Now the CDC says you have to take more than one test. If you're feeling the symptoms, take a test. If you have it, take a test. You have to take a test before you can go back to wherever you're going. How many tests is that? And at what cost?
So deductive logic tells us CDC says you need a test. Walmart, Kroger increase prices. Corporations are bad,
I don't know.
right? Isn't that the deductive logic
I
there?
mean, if you wanted a free test, would you know where to go to get one? I mean, I don't know where they're handing out free tests,
The school districts pass them out for free.
even if your kid isn't in a school district.
Well, I can tell you this. I have the emails that the school districts were sending out 2 weeks ago before the holidays when you remember when, all kidding aside, you remember when the county executive, Adam Bello, announced that the county just purchased 750,000 free tests.
Okay.
He purchased
7
free tests,
He
right?
purchased-
Right.
But I
by
digress.
Taxpayer dollars.
But I digress. He purchased free tests,
Taxpayer
750,000. Then he delivered them to all the school districts. And then the school district superintendents, because they get paid a couple $100,000 a year now to be doctors, they
Sure.
started sending out emails explaining when, where, and how you can get your hands on the tests. And somewhere buried in those emails was just show up. Don't worry about who you are. No proof. So basically,
Really?
they were letting you know it was a free for all. Well, of course, because they have to get rid of all 750,000 of them. And they know that 750,000 students aren't walking up and saying, hey, principal, give me one of those tests.
Right.
So yeah, it was, if you were in the loop on that a couple weeks ago, all you had to do is literally know where the pickup drop-off points were and just show up at one of them and drive through the line. And
I had no idea.
and you could have done a meet and greet with Bello and he would have given you one.
I will tell you, they charged my insurance company when I had to have a rapid test to go to Aruba. That's the only time I've ever taken a test. I mean, if you have a sniffle, why
you got a college degree. That's the only time you've ever taken a test.
the only time I've taken a COVID test. Yeah.
Yeah,
you got
Greece
out
gave them
of all those other tests,
I did.
Kimberlita.
I did. You have to
Cheerleaders.
I'm just telling you, you have to, be smooth, with the professors. So Biden was blindsided by this, but he's really not, because he's allowing the price gouging to go on now. And it is going on. So how many times has Biden been blindsided so far that we can count that he's been president? Afghanistan,
Think alike.
did the withdrawal from Afghanistan, right? COVID, meat prices. He just said the other day he didn't even know how high meat prices were until a friend of his told him. What?
Gas.
How do you know? They're so far removed
It's all bad
from the
corporations.
average. Yeah,
I'm
let's
pretty
look-
sure Joe Biden doesn't go to the grocery store.
He's foobarred the southern border because he refuses to enforce immigration
Oh,
policy.
wait a minute. I need my glasses.
Inflation. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. The percentage change in the consumer price index from October 2020 to October 2021. Gas. I mean, that's significant, right? How everything has gone up.
Alcohol. What?
Alcohol has gone up. Bacon is crazy. So yeah, Biden is blindsided. It's always so great to know that our president
TVs.
is
TVs, those are free.
blindsided.
All we need is like a good cop killing, and then the TVs become free.
I do hear that from time to
Yes.
time. I
Yeah.
do hear that. Hey, you're listening and watching Kimberly's Revolution. And if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever on YouTube, you can subscribe for free and give us a like. We really appreciate it if you do that. You can listen to Kimberly's Revolution and watch us on our Facebook page with the We the People podcast Facebook page, right? We have We the People Podcast Network.com where you can watch us right on our website. It's right there. It's very easy to do. Please support our advertisers, Taylor Heating and Plumbing, Express Sealers, and Precision Lawn and Garden. They've been supporting us for over a year and a half. I'm just thinking, it's amazing that we've been going for this long, right? right? It's a year and what, 4 months?
I just keep showing up.
We just keep doing the show.
Somebody tried to get us, right? We beat that back.
Someone did try to get us.
We beat that right back.
I think they're always trying to get us. Speaking of trying to get us, we do have some true blue friends that have been with us side by side, true patriots. You went down on January 6th to Washington, D.C. Jeremy Kappel was in Washington, D.C. Matt Fritz was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. And the anniversary is tomorrow of
Correct.
that. And I don't know, is there some big thing? Are they expecting some big thing?
Not that I'm aware of.
No?
I think just more subpoenas and waterboarding.
Are you getting
of
a
the
cake, Chad?
insurrectionists.
I get that. So Jeremy Kappel went. He did not go into the Capitol building. You went. You did not go into the Capitol building.
Allegedly.
Matt Fritz went. He did not go into the Capitol building.
No, he was on the roof though.
He was not. He was not on the roof. That's a joke. But of course, the FBI came to see you guys, and Jeremy has kind of been within the We the People podcast network family since we started this whole thing, and he and his wife have had a hard time. He was wrongly fired
100%.
from a local TV station here. His income, his salary taken away. The way he supported his family, the ability to support his family
At
went
the
away.
insistence of the criminal mayor,
The
Lovely
criminal,
Warren.
yeah.
Literally criminal.
Yeah, yes,
Literally.
she is
right?
absolutely a criminal. You cannot dispute that.
She's convicted of a crime.
Convicted of a crime, several crimes.
Yeah, while in
Actually.
office. While in office.
That is true.
And then held her office. But I digress.
Right. She continued to get paid.
Don't we have a
until
button for this somewhere?
December. It was December 1st. She continued to hold her job.
Yep.
So Jeremy Kappel put a book out, right? So he announced to everyone on social media, hey, I have a book and blah, blah, blah. And please, support if you feel like it. If you want to buy it, do. If you don't want to buy it, don't. It's a free country. You don't have to.
Maybe.
But this guy, I'm just going to call him
Justin Murphy.
Justin. Well, I was just going to call him Pussy Justin, but since you,
Oh.
since you brought it up, so
I thought you were trying to hide Justin Murphy's identity. Maybe.
no. I have the
okay.
tweet. So he retweeted what Jeremy had announcing his book that he has written.
Yeah, the launching of his book.
And this guy decides, I don't know why waste the time? He sends that tweet out after he retweets what Jeremy Kappel had. Former Channel 10 weatherman and noted QAnon curious insurrection adjacent non-racist Jeremy Kappel is releasing a book January 6th about the active pursuit of freedom.
Insurrection adjacent.
Hey, you
Is that what you are, Chad? Are
I
you
don't
know what that
insurrection
means.
adjacent?
Here's what
Yeah.
Justin Murphy is. He's a snide little,
Coward.
little dick man. That's what you are. You are a
You know
snide
this how?
little dick man. For what reason did you need to do that? Did Jeremy Kappel break a law? Is he a criminal? Was he in office doing criminal activity? What was the need for Justin Murphy to tweet that?
Hate.
Why?
I
mean, what's going on in Justin Murphy's life while he's working is he work at the DNC?
Yeah.
The rag that no one,
ironically,
the only thing anyone reads is a Gary Craig article. They should just shut down
Oh,
the
I thought you were
paper
going to say Playboy.
and let Gary Craig write the paper, because that is the only redeeming portion of the newspaper. The rest of them are just wannabe woke assholes. Every single one of them.
ironically,
And they're
Justin
so
Murphy's
fake.
his pinned tweet that he has on his Twitter account
Mhm.
is of his own book release that he announces that he was excited to release and so on and so forth.
And
so
no-
it's
and no
okay
one-
for him.
And no one bought it.
Yeah, probably.
He-
and
No,
what
no,
if
no.
and what if
Guaranteed
somebody
nobody
came
bought
out
He
and
released it
said
in
the
October.
same garbage to him
I-
that he just said to? I mean, how would he feel about that? I mean, be kind to others, people.
I just didn't
mean,
think
what the
that
hell?
woke, I didn't think woke people like Justin Murphy were allowed to use gender specific words like weatherman, though. I would have thought for sure that he would
I
be
saw your
required to
tweet.
use weather person. or
One for
something.
Chad.
Um,
Yeah, Justin, what are you, anti-woman? You don't believe that a woman could be a weather girl?
It's unbelievable.
Or it's a weather girl's probably
really
not
weather
appropriate.
girl.
either.
Shocking.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just an anti-feminist. I have no idea, but
Probably.
not at all. But here's what I will tell you. There was no reason for Justin Murphy to write that tweet. None whatsoever, except that he is a small little dick man. That's all I'm going to, and it's true. No reason to be spiteful. So you wrote a book too that no one bought. I feel bad for you. Now go write some other drivel that no one else is going to read in the Democrat and Chronicle and get out of our hair and stop tweeting, shitty tweets like that. Be a better person. Be a better person. Jeremy hasn't done anything to you. He made a mistake and he was outed by a criminal mayor. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about
100%.
that. There was no reason.
Hopefully you sell a lot of books, Jeremy.
I hope Jeremy Kappel sells a ton of books.
Right.
I do believe as of tomorrow, you can buy them on Amazon. Is that correct?
Perfect. I don't read, but if somebody gives me a link, I'll
Did you
buy
say you don't
one.
know how to read?
No, I don't know how to read.
Oh.
I have COVID
I'm
brain.
quite positive that I don't doubt that for a second.
I can't read.
I like to read.
I know how to read in 5 major languages in the city of Rochester.
Sure you do.
You don't even know the 5 major languages at all. So
I know that one of them is not German. Okay, so if you want to have that debate,
What about Russian? What about Chinese?
Why are you
what
so
about
discriminatory against the Germans?
I'm German.
German.
My last
yeah?
name's Hummel.
Oh,
Could
okay.
be Chinese, right? They're taking over.
They're like the little dolls that are German, right? Those little
The Hummels.
Yeah.
Hummel
Hummels.
figurines. My grandmother had a bunch of them. Yeah.
Shocker.
I would assume that you'd be rich and wealthy and have like a castle in Germany because you're the Hummel figurines. No.
No, not quite.
Okay.
My great grandmother's name was Kaiser. How does that go?
Holy hell.
Right? A lot of German here.
Well, I'm Irish, so what do I know? All right, so you sent me this picture.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to?
Do I have to turn my screen off?
That is not the picture. That is not the picture. There's going to be a new name for the Redskins.
February
Washington,
2nd.
February 2/2/22. Right?
Yeah.
That is going to be the release of the name for the Washington football team
It's going to be
that
the
they've been calling it.
the Washington Raccoons, I heard.
Really?
Because they only play at night. What happens in the day games?
That's pretty funny, actually.
Somebody will mess that up, though.
You sent me this picture. Can we show the book? Awesome. There we
Oh,
go.
this is great.
What is this?
What are we doing?
What is this?
Zoom in. I don't think people can see. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just how I'm viewing it here, but can people see it?
No, people can see it.
Santa's husband
This is a book on a library shelf.
in Penfield.
Oh, I thought it was in Fairport.
Or I'm sorry, Fairport. You're
Fairport.
correct. Fairport.
It was, I kind of scratched out the girl's name and stuff when I tweeted it because I didn't want people to come after her because I knew they would. But this is a book in a library in the Fairport School District. Is that correct?
I believe it's at the school district library.
Right.
Or it could be the general town library. I don't know.
It says Fairport Public Library, right?
Okay.
Right there. on
Either
the,
way. Right. Yeah, that's the sticker that's on the book.
Yeah.
So it could be the school district itself inside the school or at the library. But
When's the
whatever.
last time either of you have been in a library?
A year and a half ago.
Really?
I've even got a library card. Yes, I
I go to
do.
the
Thank you
Ironquoit
very much.
Library periodically.
I'm too poor now.
So we're saying I lose on that bet?
I'm too poor now to actually buy books. I go to the library and I rent them, which is
All right.
Santa's husband.
His
Thoughts?
Santa's black husband.
Well, it doesn't say that, but it says Santa's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
But I
Santa
can
wants
see.
to do is fine.
My eyes do work. Santa's husband is black
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, interracial marriage is a thing.
with a white beard.
Yeah.
Whatever Santa wants to do is perfectly fine.
Look, here's the thing. I know. Look, I know everyone's being quiet right now. Everyone's
not
afraid
being
to
quiet.
say something.
I mean,
Hey,
I'm
I
gonna
think-
say I have no problem with.
I don't
this.
give a shit what Santa does.
Yeah, what's wrong with Santa having a husband? You got. Hold on.
What
Can I-
happened to Mrs. Claus? I'm
can-
very upset for Mrs.
Go ahead.
Claus.
Can I just
Was
say-
she dumped for a man? Isn't that always the
Well,
way?
she could have got dumped for an elf.
You find the perfect man and you find out he's so perfect that he's gay.
Well, at least
it's
Santa's
happened to all of us.
at
ladies.
least Santa's husband is more well endowed than an elf would be, right?
You don't know that.
Is that speculation at this point?
Allegedly.
Austin, what do you think?
What's wrong with Santa being gay? Can I have to ask, do you guys know Santa's not real.
Wait a minute. We
Well,
have children here. Is this on a time delay?
Santa could not.
It's
may
not
be
a
real.
question. It's not a question of
Here comes the
is it
21 years
okay
of
for
Catholic
Santa
education.
to be gay, right? It's not a question of is it okay to be gay in general, which is what they want the framing of the discussion to be,
Right.
The whole idea behind this book, and the whole idea, mind you, you can see from the photograph that the book is predominantly displayed as if it's some sort of trophy for the library.
mhm.
It's not on the bookshelf.
Mhm.
It's out on a
It's
pedestal.
out, so everyone.
So
can
all the
see.
little kids,
can see.
right? Because
So
so
can
all the
be
little kids can
indoctrinated.
see that
Yes.
Santa is gay
Yeah.
and his gay husband is black,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So let's start with that premise.
Well, do we know that the library did that, or is the person who took this picture?
Oh, you
wanted-
think, you think somebody
Oh,
took
you
it off
think
the
it was
bookshelf?
Santa?
Good point.
Yeah, like
Good
to in order to spark this
That's
discussion.
a great point. I'm going to say
I'm
no.
going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with no.
I'm going to say
All right.
who has
But
the time for
It's a
that?
good point.
Who has the time?
It's a
for that?
valid point. But so the question is not, is it okay for people to be gay? Because they want
I
that
don't
to be
care
the,
who you love.
well,
I-
that's just
It's
it.
no big deal to me.
They
Who
want that
cares?
to be the issue so that then they can it's the old straw man argument, right? You're arguing A and they create a different question and then tell you you're wrong about some question that you were never arguing about in the first place.
That's
So we're not
right.
here to talk and discuss and argue about whether or not it's okay to be gay.
Right.
Do whatever you want in the bed, right? That's the old saying. Do whatever you want. I don't run around professing, what I am or not am. I am what I am. So you be what you are, right? And we don't have to have a discussion about whether it's okay to be gay and whether or not it's okay for gays to marry and all that stuff. They have all those rights. They've secured all those rights. This is about something completely different. This is about culture.
Yes.
Okay? Austin, do you have the definition of culture that I texted you? hope.
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. This is about culture. The point is Santa's not gay, right?
He's got a wife.
Santa, as he's been created, whether he's real, whether he's fake, whether he's Christian, whether he's non-Christian, whether it's a ruse, no matter what you think of Santa and what it means and doesn't mean, the fact of the matter is, culturally, he's not gay. Culturally, he's not married to a black man who's well endowed.
Right.
Okay? That's not the case. The definition of culture, which I can't read from here.
Can you read it? Can you read it, Austin?
The
Read that.
customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people,
Ah.
or other social group.
Of a particular nation or other social group.
Right.
What are the norms and the cultures of this particular nation and group of individuals? And let's narrow it right down to Fairport. What are the cultures and the norms of the people that live and breathe and use the library in Fairport? Is the culture of the people that live and breathe in Fairport generally that Santa's gay?
With a
and
black husband.
And then not only is he gay, that he's married to a black guy?
I would not say that's the
Absolutely.
culture of Fairport.
No. You know who that's the culture of?
I don't know.
Forgive me for being
But
serious.
you're going to tell us.
You know who that's the culture of? That's the culture of the fucking clown that wrote the book.
That's
That's
true.
the culture of the guy who wrote the book, who he worked for? He worked for Stephen Colbert for years.
Are you serious?
Honest to God.
Oh,
The
you're
guy-
not? You're
I
100%.
researched all this
Oh, you
today.
did?
Yeah. So
Let us know how you feel, Chad.
the guy that wrote the book worked for Stephen Colbert. He's a populist. He's a, you know what I'm
he's
saying.
a woke individual.
Yes.
Yes.
Populist
yes.
is a Trump term.
He's a woke
Yeah,
individual.
whatever. You get the point.
He's got all the buzzwords.
Yeah.
You know.
So this isn't about gay. It really isn't. It's hard to believe that this isn't about gay,
It's not about
but
gay.
it's not. It's about a culture which you don't have to look any further than this book or anything else that's going on in society to know, as a matter of fact, that our culture is being hijacked.
Yeah.
It just is.
Dismantled every day.
Right or
Every
wrong, whether you agree with it or not. See, that's the problem. People can't ever deal with facts. They always want to argue about something. Let's deal in facts. Facts are our culture's being hijacked. Now, if you think that's okay and that's right and that's some sort of good thing,
Mhm.
then fine, make that argument. But let's first establish what the facts are. The facts are our culture's being hijacked. We have an entire party in this country, and I don't even want to call it the Democrat Party.
Wait, we're having a party?
We just have an entire party of people in this nation that generally call themselves Democrats,
Right.
but they're nothing but a bunch of left-wing progressive lunatics.
Who want to upend the country.
And they want the border open,
Yeah.
and they want a flood of illegal immigrants.
They
New York
do.
City is passing laws as we speak that say that in the next voting cycle, you don't have to be a citizen of the United States. So we're well beyond whether you need a
Well,
photo ID.
They've got a DA that says he's not going to,
Prosecute crime.
prosecute crime.
Yeah, which
That's
is
the thing.
illegal.
Isn't that his job?
It's his
Right.
job.
I mean,
It's
we,
illegal.
we found out
Yeah.
yesterday that he wasn't going to prosecute Cuomo for the nursing home deaths.
Yeah.
And then we say that the new Manhattan DA won't lock up bad guys for crimes.
So we're
So
safe.
but you're right. I
we're
mean,
safe to say that he got elected because he had a D in front of his name.
we had a Soros backing him.
Yes, exactly. That's 100% what it is.
Yeah,
they tried to do that here locally, right?
they
They
did.
tried to get rid of Dorley with the Soros
if the
Sandra
candidate.
Dorley almost lost.
Democrat population in New York City knew that was actually his stance at the time he was elected,
Oh,
he
George-
would have lost in a primary.
But
Yeah, they never
George-
run on that.
They don't
No,
tell
no.
you that until after they get elected,
But
right?
we talked about it here when George Soros
We
put
did?
$1 million behind
Yes.
whatever her name was.
yeah.
She's like a
Zachariah, Frakaria, Farifa,
Oh,
Sharif,
you-
Abdullah, Makabri.
she's
Yeah.
no, that's not her name.
No, it was close though.
No, it's not even close. Not even close.
I know it ended in
It's-
hyphenated
it's-
Sharif.
No, but she honestly, she gave Sandra Dorley a run for her money.
Yeah.
Because there was $1 million behind it. But you're right. These are things that they try to, foist upon us disguised as something else.
Yeah.
Disguised as something else. And I mean, can you imagine if that book said Jesus is,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Jesus's husband?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that said Jesus's husband, and you have Jesus there, and he's however he looks, because there's
Well, why
arguments
couldn't
to
it?
what is.
Hold on.
Why couldn't there be
No,
a
no,
book
no.
that says that?
Imagine if this was a comic depicting Allah in a negative way.
Well,
Wait, we know what happened, right?
there'd be all kinds of
Didn't-
beheadings and all
Didn't
kinds of things.
Obama and Hillary Clinton blame Benghazi on that very thing,
That is absolutely correct.
even though it was a lie?
100%. Yeah.
So there was some comic.
They were trying to cover up.
Yeah, there was some comic that was
Mhm.
published out in California
That is true.
depicting Allah in a negative light.
Absolutely.
And suddenly Benghazi happens because
Because of
Hillary
that.
Clinton and Obama were derelict and negligent,
And yeah,
and they blame it on that.
that's 100% true.
So it's not okay. Freedom of speech is only okay when you're trying to hijack a culture and a norm.
That's-
This is their religion.
Okay, Chad.
You can't even put a picture of Jesus
What
in a
if,
library in a school
what if
district.
Jesus and Muhammad had an affair?
I don't even want to talk about that. I will. Do you guys watch Jeopardy? Have you been watching Jeopardy? I like
No,
Jeopardy.
Not lately.
Okay, so here's what I do. My mother's birthday is coming up next week. She'll be 89.
Happy birthday, Lois.
My mother will be 89 years old. And
I'll take Alex Trebek is dead for 1,000, Alex.
he is.
Oh, he is?
He is dead, yeah.
Sorry.
and,
God rest his soul.
and
Thoughts and prayers.
every now and then they have these contestants that get on that can't be beat. And the first time that this lady came on Jeopardy, every night with my mother, we watch
They have to get rid of her. is
we
what you're
watch
saying?
Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy unless I'm otherwise occupied or I have to
Is that
go out
Santa
and show a
Claus's
house.
gay wife?
no. So every night we watch Wheel of Fortune, and then at 7:00 Jeopardy comes on, and I watch with my mother because she enjoys, sitting there seeing me try to guess all the answers.
Well, I think I would enjoy that as well.
And I'm pretty good. Hey,
Wapner at 4.
I'm pretty freaking good.
No, Wapner at 4. Wapner at
I'm
4.
coming to your house on Monday.
Monday I got Final
watch.
Jeopardy.
Gotta watch Wapner at 4.
Bastard. Yeah, I did. So the first night that this contestant was on, I looked at my mother and I said, "That
Mother?
is not an Amy. That is an Andrew." And she goes, "What are you talking about? What are you saying?
You
what are you?" And I
spirited
said, "That's a man."
podcast host.
And my
What
mom
gave
said,
it away?
"She is
Was it
not
the
a man."
nose or the teeth?
Look at her. And so
It was
now
a pearl necklace.
Jeopardy. It is a pearl necklace.
It's gotta
Yeah,
be a
that is
woman.
so 1958.
But she wears like pink blouses and dresses and sweaters. But they're saying that she has set the record on Jeopardy for any woman ever to go as far and win as much money as she has on the game show, which is a complete and utter lie. It's the same lie that's being perpetuated at that college where you have the swimmer that was a man up until a year and a half ago and was a a winning college swimmer, right? Amy, I don't know what her name was prior. I'm just saying she's an Andrew. And so they're not even calling her trans. They're not even calling her the first transgender contestant. They are playing it off as if she is a woman, where clear up until just a couple of years ago, Amy was not a woman. So I just hate that.
Do we actually know that for a fact?
No, that is a fact.
Oh, okay.
She is a man. She is transgendered. There are a couple of articles out there that
Do you know what her preferred pronouns are?
I really don't give a shit. She's a her, she's a they, she's a them. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
I'm way too old for this.
I don't.
Does she have a dangling participle?
I'm just saying, don't stop lying to the people. Stop lying and calling her. Call her trans, which is what she is, right? I mean, she's a female now, but let's don't try to pass her off as a woman.
Are
But
those
is she a female?
clip-ons or is her ears pierced?
I don't know.
I don't know how this works. I mean, if you're born a male,
she's won $897,000 so far. I mean,
good,
she's really
good for her.
I will say this:
Good
she's
for
really
him.
freaking smart. She's
Gee.
really. I just wish they'd get someone on there to beat her. I always, after you win so much, I start betting against you.
It's
I'm like,
Andrew.
come on, beat her, beat him, whoever. Matamodio,
Has anybody ever figured out on
the
Family
guy that was
Feud?
the all-in guy. I'm like, beat him.
Kimberly, have they ever figured out on Family Feud after they win the car how do 5 people split up one car?
I don't.
Have they ever figured
I have
out?
no idea. I
It
think
becomes a family feud.
they take the cash.
Is that what it is?
They
So you're saying, wait, this is a hot take. You're saying
it's not.
nobody takes the car?
nobody takes the car. They take the cash.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had
Never
a
thought of
cousin.
that.
I had a cousin. Her name was Tuesday. She was on The Price is Right way back in the
Her
day.
name was what?
Tuesday. Don't
Is
ask
she
me.
from Bruckner, Missouri?
Very hippie.
Was she born on Wednesday?
Mother was a hippie. I don't know when she was born. Anyway, so
fuck?
they named her Tuesday, and she married a guy who was in the Marines, and they went out to Pensacola.
Did they go to Fridays
Not
for
Pensacola.
dinner?
They were out in California at the Marine Air Base, and they went down to The Price is Right. She won. She got up on stage, won whatever prize it was to get up on stage to compete for a car, and she won the car. She took the cash.
They have. So I
So
didn't
you
know
have the
that.
option to take the cash.
I'm like 700
Mhm.
years old. I'm like older than Yoda. You can act. You don't have to take the prize you win.
I think you always have the cash option. I'm not sure,
Really?
but I'm pretty sure you have that.
Wow, this
you have
show's
that
really
option.
digressed.
I know. I want to
Okay.
show you.
Wapner at 4.
Interesting information there.
I want to show you our latest member of City Council.
Oh,
this is
boy.
beautiful.
Can we
You-
go
you
back?
talk-
Can
you
we
talk
go
about-
back to? Can we go back to gay
We
Santa?
talk about woke DAs, right? That are never going to put anyone behind bars, right? For anything, for any kind of armed robbers who use guns or other deadly weapons to stick up stores or other businesses, they'll be prosecuted only for petty larceny, a misdemeanor. I mean, that's it. So if you rob someone at gunpoint, this guy says, we're not going to prosecute you. We're not going to put you behind bars. And by the way, we're not going to put someone behind bars for life unless they're multiple murderers or they have killed or they're a cop killer.
That makes sense.
You
Could
will
you
never
imagine
go to-
that?
you
Could
will-
you imagine that TV show on NBC where they have the DA doesn't do anything? It's like, okay, we have this
Yeah.
guy. He did this. It's
The-
like, let him go.
The
And
memo
then the
states
episode's over.
the
Law and
memo
Order.
states that this Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, says the DA's office will not seek a sentence of life without parole while he's
For anyone.
while he's the DA.
Yeah, no matter what. So he's predetermining cases that have not come before him yet.
That's correct.
I mean, he literally
It's
should
a-
be brought before his appellate division on his law license for these positions.
Yeah.
He's in advance declaring that he's not going to uphold his oath to the
So
Constitution.
you, as an attorney, that obviously you have a case, you have a victim who's been victimized by some, armed robber. The case is already stacked against you.
Yeah.
Why even bother at that point?
I don't know about
Why
that.
would you,
Why call
Chad,
911?
Chad, I don't know about that though.
Why,
I
as
mean,
an attorney, would you ever go in though to fight that fight?
Is his responsibility as his position to uphold the law and the Constitution? Obviously, that's what he swears to. But is it more of the constituents that voted him in?
No.
It's an elected.
Again,
he's
money
elected.
bought him. George Soros's money bought
But he
him.
was elected, right? And if
He
his
was-
people
it was
say
a-
that
it was
this
a
is
fake
what
election.
we want,
Just like the whole Trump Biden election, the whole thing.
so they
was,
could. You think that they could take his law license because he's doing what the people that voted him in want him to do?
Absolutely.
Really?
Well, sure. If Adam Bellow's a lawyer, if Adam Bellow gets elected to be county executive, it doesn't mean he can commit, crimes because his constituents are okay with him committing crimes.
So the other thing I thought was interesting, and for some reason, I don't know how this escaped me. Maybe I just don't care. I know that Jose Pio is a city council person.
And he will be here at 8:00 tonight.
And we like him.
He's a
Jose
city council man.
He's a city council person, man, whatever he is. He is a man.
He's an Andrew, not an Amy.
I think that city council is really got their work cut out for them. I think they are doomed. And let
Don't
me
we
tell
have
you why.
something here?
There's a guy or a girl, it's Stanley. And I do believe Stanley is Stanley trans, Austin? Do we know that? I think. Do you know that?
I have no idea.
So this Stanley person
Stanlina?
is a member of the city council, was elected, and is also one of the leaders of Free People Rock.
Free the Rock.
And here is the video the other night when the new city council members were being sworn in and they were playing the national anthem. And watch this video very carefully.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance? Okay.
Where today
Nope, wrong
I
one.
made the decision.
Councilmember Lightfoot, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Stanley sat down, huh?
Stanley sat down.
Let's watch that again. Let's watch
Everyone's
Stanley sit
standing,
down.
but Stanley sits.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Watch Stanley
would you
sit down in the
please
middle.
lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
What's Stanley holding in his hands?
I don't know.
Is there-
It's so blurry. But that's
Is he wearing a sash or something?
I don't I have no idea. But again,
Like holding a pheasant or something?
if you look up Stanley, you will find that he is one of the leaders of Free People Rock, which all over his Twitter account, he's talking about how he wanted to say "fuck the police" during that ceremony. That's what he wanted to
Wait,
say.
that's Stanley?
Is this Stanley?
That's a he?
Yeah, Stanley Martin, Rochester City Council.
Oh, that's definitely a guy. I mean, look, you can tell. Are you kidding me? What?
So I'm a little confused by what it is.
I think
I
Stanley's
don't know.
a little confused.
Stanley's hot.
But that is Stanley Martin decided not to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, hates police officers. The FTP is one of her main slogans, or his, but that's what you have to do apparently to make noise, right? You have
Colin
to
Kaepernick.
do ridiculous things like this.
Here's the thing too, and I don't know. I get this is probably so, stupid and old fashioned. The things like the Constitution and all that, and because when you're not woke, then you believe in the Constitution and law and order. But he just took an oath, allegedly.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what kind of oath you could
Well,
take.
you get sworn in, right? In order to be a politician, right? In these types of positions, you take an
swear,
oath,
right?
Yeah, January 1st, the cameras show up and your family shows up. In his case, the black gay Santa shows up and holds his hand with him, and they stand there and they put their hand on the Bible, and he pledges to uphold the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the state of New York.
I don't think he does.
And then moments later, but he did though. He had to. You cannot become a sworn elected official without being a sworn elected official.
Well, this is the book they swore in on.
Racket.
Right. Santa's husband.
There you go.
There you
Thanks, Austin.
Very good.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that and drop the ball. That was excellent.
He
Well
did
played.
bring his own Bible.
So he brought. That's a good point. So he brought the gay Santa book, but he put his hand on it. He put his hand on the gay Santa book and he swore to uphold
nothing
and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the
No.
state of New York. And then
No,
moments
he swore
later,
to uphold nothing because he believes in nothing.
I hear you, but I'm just saying my point then is that he is not actually a sitting elected sworn official for the city of Rochester, because moments later he sat for the Pledge of Allegiance, which effectively means, and you can, I mean, I'm sure he'll acknowledge it in his own words, his or her own words, but he effectively said, I do not pledge allegiance to the United States of America. And if you do not pledge allegiance to the United States of America, well, then how can you be a sworn elected official that is charged with upholding the laws of the United States of America? It's illegal. He should be removed.
Or she.
Jose Pio, and probably stands by himself on that council, unfortunately. But
Jose Pio is going to have a hard
somebody should
time
move.
getting anything done.
Somebody should move to have his position recalled, whatever. I don't know the legalities of how all that works. But it's illegal. Him being a so-called sworn member of the Rochester City Council has to be effectively illegal at this point.
Patty says Stanley Martin is a girl. How does she identify? Does she identify as a girl? Does she identify as a guy? I mean,
She identifies as a girl with a boy's
I
name.
just realized, Kimberly, we're all in danger here. Chad is playing with a freaking bullet. What the hell?
We're playing with a bullet.
Why are you
wanna tell
playing
you,
with a bullet over here?
Before we go,
Buy more ammo.
What the hell?
tell me the number one housing market. By the way, this has been a great
Okay.
show. It's been a great show. We appreciate all of our
I'm gonna
patrons
go.
watching. Number one
I'm gonna
housing
go.
market
Wait a minute. Let me guess.
Revere Realty.
for 2022.
I'm gonna go either
Housing
Texas or
market, not
Florida.
housing
I'm gonna go
real-
Texas or Florida, North Carolina or Tennessee.
Tampa is the
Okay.
hottest housing market for 2022.
Of course it is.
Tampa, Jacksonville, Raleigh,
Florida, North
San
Carolina,
Antonio, and
Texas,
Charlotte.
North Carolina. Boom.
New York lost 300,000
Yeah.
last year.
So Tampa, Jacksonville, Raleigh, San Antonio, Charlotte are the top 5 housing markets.
And the
for
rest of them are in Tennessee.
2022.
I'm confused by Patty Bardine's last post. It says, guys, Stanley Martin is a girl.
I just read that. And I said, well, I don't know how she identifies.
Shouldn't the text say girls? Stanley Martin is a guy. I mean, there's a girl here. There's guy. I mean, it's all very confusing.
I don't know what I identify as.
The
You know
guys
what
and
I
the girls
identify
and-
as a cat lover. And
I'm just Tom. That's
what
all I am.
I'm just a cat lover.
Nothing else.
We will tell you that you can reach out to us if you're thinking about buying or selling a home. Revere Realty is where we do the show. We are up above the real estate offices. Of course, Tom is an appraiser. We have several appraisers on our team, as well as attorneys and real estate agents. So if you're looking for an agent, if you're looking to buy a home, if you're looking to sell your home, please reach out to us here at Revere Realty, and we'll do our best to help you get
Or
settled.
if you
I
just
know.
want to buy a t-shirt.
Or if
help
you want
us
to buy
out.
a t-shirt, We the People Podcast Network.com. We the
Buy
People
more ammo.
Podcast. You can watch us
Why
on
do you have
YouTube.
a bullet?
We the People Podcast Network.com. You can watch us there. You can buy a t-shirt. We're on Apple Podcasts. Please give us a like, subscribe. It's free. And we will see you next week, right?
See you next Tuesday. What?
See you next
God
week.
bless. Be kind to others.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.